Foundation myths of Korea. Continuation of concepts of racial purity in post-liberation and post-Korean War period.
In this section, we are going to examine the lingering effects of these ideas about Korean race, Korean racial purity on modern-day Korean society. And we're going to discuss Korean nationalism and ethnic purity after the Korean War.
What is the difference between nationalism and ethnic nationalism?
Particularly after the Korean War, there was a need for Koreans to feel that they had this strong sense of nationalism, and this is vis-a-vis South Korea, North Korea. And Korean nationalism is unique in a way that the focus is on the race and blood of the people. So whereas in other countries, nationalism usually includes just the political nature of the nation or the historical, cultural nature, in Korea, there is a strong emphasis on blood and ancestry. And so we call this ethnic nationalism. And as a result, what we have is a continuation of these concepts of racial purity into the modern period. And the idea that Korea is a pure blood or pure race. Now, as we have just discussed, these ideas became very well developed in the colonial period, but they persisted post-war, especially when Korea became divided. So there's an idea that Koreans, because whether you're North or you're South Korean, we share the same blood, we share the same ancestry, that they should be unified, that we should be a unified country. But as the Cold War increases, and we see that in South Korea, particularly after the Korean War, we see that there is a heightened sense of hatred and suspicion towards the other. So on both sides of the 38th parallel. And in South Korea, what we see generated is a lot of anti-communist sentiment.
6.25 전쟁 후 1970년대까지 반공은 대한민국의 국시가 되었습니다. 반공은 6.25 전쟁 이후 30년 넘게 한국인의 일상생활 곳곳에 스며들었으며 수많은 반공 관련 내용들을 쉽사리 찾아볼 수 있었습니다. 먼저 반공 독본입니다. 이 책은 1954년에 출간된 초등학생 교육용 반공 독본 교과서입니다. 6.25 전쟁 이후 초등학교 학생들의 반공 교육에 사용되었습니다. 구성은 갑자기 쳐들어온 교류군, 피난길, 평양을 찾은 날, 이북을 빠져나온 명순애, 오랑캐를 잡은 명수, 괴뢰군과 싸운 젊은이, 방공호 속의 괴뢰군, 언제나 배고픈 이북 농사꾼, 목숨을 빼앗긴 아저씨, 풀려나온 포로들, 붉은 스파이 등 총 11단원으로 되어 있습니다. 포스터도 있습니다. 북한에서 남한으로 들어와 몰래 뿌린 삐라를 신고할 것을 권유하는 포스터입니다. 이와 같은 선전물은 우리 사회 내에 반공주의를 강화하는 역할을 하였습니다. 또한 삐라를 주어서 방첩함에 넣도록 했고 경찰서나 학교에 가져가면 공책이나 연필, 지우개를 주기도 하였습니다. 이 표찰과 배지는 공산주의에 대한 경각심을 잊지 말자는 취지로 간단한 문구나 표어 등을 새겨 가슴에 부착한 각종 표찰과 배지입니다. 반공 방첩 표찰 외에도 학생들의 이름표에 반공 방첩을 새기기도 하였습니다. 노랫말에도 반공 정신이 들어 있습니다. 국민방첩연구소가 1970년에 제작한 방첩 관련 노래입니다. 남북한이 대치하고 있는 상황에서 북한이 난파한 간첩을 국민들이 적극 색출하자는 내용을 담고 있습니다. 이 옷을 보신 적이 있나요? 이 옷은 1970년대에 고등학생과 대학생들이 입었던 교련복입니다. 그 당시 학생들은 이 옷을 입고 주 1회가량 군사 교육을 받았습니다. 반공 웅변대회도 있었습니다. 반공에 대한 경각심을 깨우치고 애국심을 장려하기 위해 초등학생들을 대상으로 반공 웅변대회가 개최되었으며 우수한 성적을 거둔 학생들에게 시상하였습니다. 또한 1956년 10월 15일에 아시아 반공 청년 학생대회를 개최하였고 1956년 11월 23일은 반공 학생의 날로 제정하였습니다.
But despite the division of the two countries, there were these efforts to reunite the peninsula, and the natural basis for reunification is this shared ethnic identity and the shared blood of the two peoples. As we see in the early Republic of South Korea, that there's an emphasis on historical unity and the historical lineage, again emphasizing this ancestry which can be traced back to Tangun. And so there are hopes that because there is this shared blood, shared ancestry, that this could somehow facilitate an easier unification between the two people. This also plays into unifying the diaspora, or the various Korean communities living outside of Korea. So beginning with the late 19th century and the opening of Joseon in 1876, there were quite a few Koreans who moved abroad. This is particularly the case during the colonial period. During the colonial period, there were many Koreans who chose not to stay in a colony and decided to move to other areas of the world. Also, during World War II, there was forced mobilization, and following liberation, there were also a lot of population movements. After the Cold War global division of North and South Korea, and then the Korean War, again we see population movement, not just within the peninsula, people from the south moving to the north and vice versa, but we also see quite a few Koreans that move abroad. So as a result, the diaspora is actually quite wide and various. We have ethnic Korean communities in Japan. These are often communities that stayed in Japan after the colonial period ended or decided to move to Japan thereafter. There are ethnic communities in China, in South and Southeast Asia, in the Soviet Union, in Europe, in the United States, in Central and South America. So as you can see, that there are these kinds of Korean communities spread throughout the world.
These are the keywords for this class: ethnic unity, ethnic nationalism, racial purity.